What's up, guys? I'm SaltEMike, and welcome to the new and improved Star Citizen Week in Review. 3.17 is finally on the live servers. We got a roadmap update that ultimately confirms some of my biggest fears, and the Misc Expanse Q&A dropped an absolute bomb. All that and more on today's Week in Review. And as always, if this is your first week in review, this is where I take all of the official Star Citizen news and pile it into one video and insert my opinions in there as well. Also, I live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/SaltEMike every day but Monday, so I can get this video out to you guys, and it starts at about 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Also, if you haven't yet, feel free to check out SaltEMike 2. I think there's going to be a few new updates coming to that channel pretty soon. And yeah, we have a lot to get through this week. It was a pretty big week for Star Citizen, so let's start out with the patch notes updates. We had 3.17x on the PTU, which was pretty much bug fixes exclusively. Not much to share here, besides they made an attempt at making bed logging work a bit better, but I'm not sure if that really worked out. 3.17y on the PTU for feature updates. They reduced the number of rocks in the river for whatever reason. They also removed all distortion weapons from stock loadouts on ships. They're clearly not happy with the way or the state of distortion weapons in the game right now. And, you know, from past updates to this one. And yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. This was really the only way to disable a ship without blowing it up. So yeah, I'd really love to hear from the vehicle experience teams and all that stuff about why they did this and what their kind of feelings are going forward. For bug fixes, the one really thing to note here is that for medium and small ships with refueling in atmosphere and the Starfarer, they're no longer going to continue to fall. I didn't get to see that one, but hopefully that was fixed. 3.17z on the PTU. For features, they resolved the worst issue in my opinion, which was the asset streaming. This was just, you know, whole cities weren't streaming in. It was pretty wild. They also fixed another kind of annoying one for bug fixes, the flickering assets on planet surfaces and other places. And this is funny. Repairing ships should no longer increase their mass. So I wonder if you just like repaired a ship forever and it just wouldn't be able to take off. Then we had a 3.17 AA on the PTU. We got into double letters. We've seen this before in the past, but it's been a while. And this was just bug fixes. Reputation will be applied when completing a number of missions that were apparently broken. Mining lasers are working again, and the higher end weapons are finally spawning in loot crates. A lot of people weren't able to find the railgun, for example, and some food and drink fixes as well. All this culminated into a 3.17 live patch that came out this week. And as I usually do, I don't go over these notes because all of the notes we've gone over through the culmination of all the videos we've made about 3.17 have made the 3.17 patch notes. So we know what's in there already, but I'm really looking forward to diving back in this week, basically after this episode is out, and, you know, kind of figuring out what's fun, what's not, what works, what doesn't, and how I want to play the game through the 3.17 cycle. So, hey, feel free to stop by my Twitch stream and say hello while I'm going through that. Moving on to roadmap updates, we had a roadmap roundup. And they started out with vehicle tech. First, they shared that Firesprite is no longer. They're no longer working on the project, and everything is going back to internal. The vehicle team is being renamed to the Arena Commander feature team. I hope this means more than Arena Commander. I hope it means that Theaters of War is still a thing. Star Marine's going to get some love, but we don't know who is actively working on those things. Then the vehicle feature and experience teams merged. They're merging the two teams around vehicles. I don't know why they were ever separate in the first place. So it was I've always found that kind of weird. It just seems like a logical thing to do. But the big thing here is that they're getting the same treatment as the actor team. They're being pulled off of the PU for exclusive, pretty much, Squadron 42 priorities. And I'll refrain from saying this is good or bad. We don't know. We don't know because the idea was that these teams would go to Squadron 42 and the tech or the features would come back really much more polished than we're used to the PU. That hasn't happened yet for the actor team. I think the first thing we're going to see from them is hull stripping. Apparently that is needed for Squadron in some way. We've seen salvage scenes from whatever things they've shown about Star Citizen. We've seen the Starfarer there, right? So maybe this is the first thing that we get. So if that is really nice and polished, then we'll know that this works out, and this will be an exciting thing to see the vehicle experience team moving over there. If it's not going to be that exciting. So yeah, the UI feature team is also getting the same treatment. They were renamed because their priority is now Squadron 42. I really hope this works out for Star Citizen players in the long run. We'll have to see. They added a few things to the progress tracker. They're all UI related. AR and map marker reworks. These are all much needed things. Doors, airlocks, and light panel UI. I assume this is just taking what we see with elevators and putting them on doors. Nothing crazy there. Moby glass rework. This is something that is highly anticipated by the community, to just move the Moby glass over to building blocks to give it the functionality we all feel it needs. And visor and lens reworks. I think all of these are very, very important. Looking forward to this one the most out of all of these, to be honest. I think it's a pretty big pain point when in any sort of ship combat, whether it's NPC or PvP kind of combat. It just feels like the most important information isn't on the screen, so I hope this resolves that. That'll do it for Roadmap Roundup. We did have video updates this week. We had an Inside Star Citizen, and they started out with this very weird biome accumulation update. I mean, Jared, it just moved from to the UK from America, so I didn't expect this to be a great one, and it wasn't their best. There was an issue with the way things were accumulating on guns versus armor versus items and things like that, and they wanted to make sure that it was more uniform, and the way they want to do this is make it procedural. I think the only interesting thing to really show here is they showed more versions of wear and tear, things that I haven't seen from what I can remember, things like mud and fire damage, things like that. Then they had a sprint report, which was all AI or sandbox teams, I think. So the AI collision resolver seems to be a temp solution for tight hallways to allow AI to pass through each other when before they could not. AI terrain pathing. This updates the flying ship's AI to fly higher, smoother, more naturally to get to their destination. This may also allow AI to determine where they're going to land on the surface as well. Downstate reactions. This is where the AI react to a dead body around them more realistically with a number of variations as well. And they also improve response times for when one of us, a player, interrupts them, which is kind of cool. They spent a lot of time on this next one. Vending machine use, okay. This work is being done to allow NPCs to use them and make it look natural, I guess. I wonder if these animations that they're using here will eventually be used by us, the players, because it would be nice to not always have to go to a kiosk with an NPC or whatever to use those, right? Then Derelict Outposts. We've seen a lot of these. This is a white box traversal test. They're huge, and just really looking forward to seeing what kind of trouble we can get into these, what kind of gameplay is going to be around them. So even in white box, the environments look really interesting. And then large scale points of interest for Pyro. We all know it's the road to Pyro, and all these things are going to be highly Pyro focused. These are big, big points of interest. Destroyed ships, destroyed stations are the stage that's being set here around Pyro, and they're doing some work on how they want them to kind of play. And they also have some pathing systems for us to lead through into them. I think we've discussed this already, but yeah, there's going to be pathing to get to where you want to go in these points of interest. They're not just going to be nothing with debris everywhere. There's actually things to do there. And then the last clip, Jared made it a point to share its importance, and we should be hearing more about it soon, is this area that was being shown. I can't wait to hear about it. I don't know what it is, but I'm excited. You know, they really drew me in on that one. Then we did have a Star Citizen Live. It was a game dev one, which was a Derelict Outpost, so they showed making a Derelict Outpost concept art. The classic Star Citizen Lives that we've been getting over the last year. Nothing really that's going to be in the game, but something that is cool if you're interested in game development, so link will be in the description for that video if you want to check it out. And then moving on to other updates, we had a Galactipedia update. The main article was about a cactus from the Yar system, and the rest is just minor updates to the usual systems that we see in Star Citizen. Then they had a Misc Expanse Q&A, which does open up a lot of information about the ship. What are the benefits of the ship over station-based refining? They said that the ship is basically at your mining location and you don't have to fly to it. That's one of the benefits, and it will take less time. Which they definitely touched on in this next question. The key thing to point out here is that they want the process to be skill-based, which I think everyone expected, but it's just great to hear them confirm. Then they were asked to go into detail on the process, and I think they delivered. You remove a container from a mining ship, put it on the intake socket on the back of the Misc Expanse, and then you choose the process. You can either pick a stock method, or you could do the process completely manual with interactions like grinding, melting, dissolving, and more, then place it in one of the 8 exterior containers for sale or trade. The next question for me was a bombshell. Will refining require consumables? Yes, it will. And this really was a first discussion about crafting from a more like MMO/survival game kind of standpoint that we've heard since CR mentioned Valheim-style crafting casually in his Proof of Life video with Sandy. I find it weird the refinery can craft the consumables that it needs, but regardless, crafting, like, super exciting. Lastly, the community asked about charging for your refinery services. Yes, the team came through with that as well. I'm probably piggybacking off of the refueling one that we see on the Starfarer, but yeah, you can make a fee for your refining services. There was a lot more to this Q&A, guys. Link will be in the description if you want the full details, or you can watch my video on SaltEMike 2, where I went through every single question there. Sneak peek. Pretty simple. Another Pyro Station image. Nothing crazy here. Then the minimum system requirements were updated for Star Citizen. The system that I built in 2013 to play Star Citizen has officially been named dead. That's kind of crazy to think about. Windows 7 can no longer be supported by the game, and the 700 series graphics cards are gone as well. My first card that was meant to play Star Citizen was a 780 Ti. It's just like wild to think about how far we've come. Next is the Misc Hull A sale. It's $80 or with $80 war bond, so new money, or $90 with any store credit. It comes with 3 new paint styles. They're each $7 or $16.80 if you buy the pack. The ship, I hope, really leads the way for the Hull C. It is definitely a stepping stone kind of ship, but a very cool one nonetheless. Then with that, there was a Misc Celebration. All Misc ships are flyable until the 16th of May to try out, and then you can purchase any of them through the page in the description. There's all sorts of packs and crazy things. A huge sale. The bumper sticker contest goes along with this. It's a design your own Misc bumper sticker, and you'll get a prize. First place is a Starfarer Gemini. Second is a regular Starfarer, and third is a Hull A. And lastly, for today, guys, Subflare. The new Subflare that's coming, I'm not gonna lie, I think this is the kind of stuff I really want to see. Just little unique items like flashlights and certain shades, whatever, some just cool things that are unique to you and a few other people, probably many other people, but whatever. I think it's really cool to just get cool bits like this, and that'll do it with today's Week in Review. Let me know what you guys kind of thought about today's show and the new kind of television in the background and how I edited it. I'm curious. I wanted to update the show. I wanted to do better. I've always wanted to do something like this and be more of a news kind of looking show, and I'm really proud of it. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and thank you for watching. Leave a like if you guys liked the updates, and leave a comment down below, and make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't yet for more Weeks in Review, and I'll see you all next week.